Assalamualaikum everyone. Welcome to today's webinar on applications of blockchain. This event has been highly anticipated by students and professionals alike, and we're very honored to have Dr. Mubashir Husain Rehmani with us today. For those of you who don't know, Dr. Mubashir Husain Rehmani is a lecturer from Munster Technological University, Ireland, and he is also among the top 1% of computer scientists around the world. This is a very prestigious award and position to have, and we are very grateful for Dr. Mubashir to join us in this webinar. Before we begin with the webinar, let's go over a brief outline of what we're going to be doing today. We're going to start with the recitation of the Holy Quran. We'll have the opening and welcoming remarks. And then, since these events are always brought to you by SID Lab, we're going to have a brief intro of what SID Lab is, what we do, why we do it, and who we are. And then we'll be moving on to the actual webinar. So let's begin with the recitation of the Holy Quran. Let's move on to SID Lab. SID Lab का किसी ने सुना है पहले? जो फर्स्ट सेमेस्टर के स्टूडेंट्स हैं, आप में से बहुत फर्स्ट सेमेस्टर के हैं. SID Lab is short for Secured IoT Devices Lab. It's a research lab in UET Peshawar that was funded by the HEC, Higher Education Commission, and Planning Commission of Pakistan, along with other international collaborators, for example, PMU, Saudi Arabia, Campus France, and Hamad bin Khalifa University from Qatar. We have a list of international academic collaborators from different countries like Poland, UK, America, Qatar, and so on, that include Professor Dr. Andreas, Professor Dr. Ala Al-Fuqaha, Professor Dr. Ghassan bin Brahim, Professor Dr. Slawomir Kozil, and some former academic collaborators like Professor Kamel Tonagast, Université de Lorraine, France, and Professor Dr. Abdul Bayas, University of Regina, Canada. Along with that, since we are a research lab, we always work in the field of research. We're pumping out new research and new softwares. We're always working on these technologies. So we have some industrial collaborators working with us in Pakistan and around the world. For example, Hash Computing Limited, Pakistan, an Azim Technology Company, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Welltime Limited, UK, and TSK Engineering, Pakistan. As a research lab, as I mentioned, we're not only working on one aspect, we're working on everything that is hot in IT right now. For example, AI, ML, IoT, cybersecurity, and hardware. We have a team of dedicated individuals, and because of who, we have some key achievements to share with you guys, starting with the fact that we've generated over 157 million PKR in funding. We've produced 5 PhDs so far and 40 MS students, and 8 PhDs and 3 MS theses are in progress with us right now. Apart from that, as I mentioned, we do have a lot of international collaborators, and those organizations, they're from countries like Germany, Ireland, UK, France, Qatar, Canada, Saudi Arabia, and Poland. Lastly, we've worked on organizing 50 plus, or we've worked on publishing 50 plus research publications and 35 plus workshops and trainings where we teach students and professional individuals essential skills in the field of IT. Now let's look at the faces behind the SID Lab. We have our most respected Dr. Salman Ahmed, the founding director, and respected Dr. Safdar Marwat, the director of the lab. Then we have individuals in different positions and roles like senior scientists, Dr. Arbab Wasim, research associates, research assistants, security researchers, and so on. Besides that, we have a research and administrative team and also an undergraduate researcher team. इधर मैं एक बात point out करना चाहता हूँ कि हम में से बहुत students हैं जो first, second, third, fourth semester में होते हैं, who wants to work in projects, who wants to work in research, लेकिन उनको लगता है कि once we get the degree फिर हम इस चीज़ में काम कर सकते हैं. So that's not true. I joined the lab myself when I was in second semester, and since then I've worked on countless projects and research work. So अगर आप चाहते हैं, if you want to join, if you want to be a part of this, you can always visit us. You can visit our lab. You can talk to me after this session, and we'll get you into this. Apart from that, मैं तो बहुत अरसे से projects कह रहा हूँ, लेकिन projects हम कैसे projects में काम करते हैं? As I mentioned, AI, ML, cybersecurity, IoT, and hardware. So these are just some of the active projects we are working in. For example, cybersecurity framework for control and monitoring of IoT devices, web and security, and artificial intelligence, development of proactive tools for cybersecurity threats. ये सारे प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं जो हम इंटरनेशनल कोलैबोरेटर्स के साथ करते हैं जो फंड हुए हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल आप देख सकते हैं फंडिंग बॉडी में वी हैव साइबर सिक्योरिटी सेंटर, प्रिंस मोहम्मद बिन फहद यूनिवर्सिटी, देन वी हैव an Azim technology company, Saudi Arabia, National Science Center of Poland. So these are some of the active projects we are currently working on. After that, we have some completed projects, for example, cybersecure smart logistic framework for CPEC, more on that later, and smart energy management system and monitoring system, 5G AgriLog, more on this later again. And इसमें बहुत से projects हैं जिसमें me as an undergrad researcher मैंने काम किया है, and we also have a few other undergrad researchers that have worked in these research and projects. For example, Saira is from 5th semester, and she's also with us from lab, and she's also worked on countless projects with us. Apart from that, let's talk about a few research grants that we've been awarded, starting with the main one, Cybersecure Smart Logistic Framework for CPEC, this was a project name, and because of this, we won a research grant awarded by the Higher Education Commission and Planning Commission of Pakistan. The main problem was food wastage in logistics, and we covered this by implementing IoT sensors and cybersecurity. In a nutshell, our proposed solution included development of a prototype smartphones for monitoring, transmitters and border routers for secure communication, and cybersecurity protocols integrated into IoT devices and routers. Apart from this is a video of the prototype. You can see we have different chambers for different perishable goods, dairy products, meat, vegetables, pharmaceutical products, and so on. Then we were awarded a research mobility grant by the Higher Education Commission, where our former research associate, Engineer Ahmad Khan, visited France under the PAC France Period Program. We were also awarded research sponsorship from Qatar National Research Fund under the project of development of human-centric, robust, ML-driven IoT smart services. And some of our more recent achievements, last year, we were a part of NUST 5G Hackathon, which comprised of over 600 teams, 622 to be exact, and our team from SID Lab was among the top 3 teams. Our solution focused on implementing smart farms and also improving smart logistics. Apart from that, आप सबने तो NIC Peshawar का सुना होगा, National Incubation Center. It's the people who incubate projects and they give you funding and mentorship. Our team, Green Tech, was also selected as one of the top 25 startups out of the 450 applicants, and their project was based on smart container technology that reduces transportation losses by optimizing logistics through automation, and they provide a real-time monitoring and data analytics, ensuring efficiency, lowering costs, and minimizing the risk of damage or delays in the process. Apart from this, we're very into dissemination activities. We also always have national and international collaborators visiting our lab, and we visit other research labs and centers where we learn something from other people and other people learn something from us. So here you can see a lot of dissemination activities where we have individuals from different universities, nationally and internationally, joining our lab. Apart from that, we're very active in workshops. We conduct workshops all across Pakistan, where again, we teach students and professionals the essential IT skills you guys need. Apart from this, सारे जो हमारे former staff है जिन्होंने हमारे साथ काम किया है, वो आप सोच रहे होंगे अभी किधर है. So we've divided into 3 academia. For example, Dr. Salman Ahmed, he's currently an associate professor in GP. We have Dr. Shahid Khan from Higher Studies. He's currently doing postdoc in Poland. We have Muhammad Ikram, a PhD scholar. He's currently in Australia. Then moving on to industry, we have Madiha Mushtaq, who is currently a software engineer at Sodic, Silicon Valley, USA. We have Basit Ali, who is again a senior software engineer at Dream Big Semiconductors, Silicon Valley. So this was a little about our former staff. I also mentioned earlier when we were covering the cyber-secured smart logistics framework. Okay, we're gonna dive into this a little more in detail. So here's a very interactive video for you guys to understand कि हमने project में क्या किया है, कैसे किया है. So here's this video. Let's now move on to the webinar. Those who just joined us, welcome. And I want to remind you guys that we are being joined by Dr. Mubashir Husain Rehmani, who is a lecturer at Munster Technological University, Ireland. He is one of the top 1% global scientists, top 1% scientists around the world, and has also won a lot of awards, including Highly Cited Researcher 2020, Highly Cited Researcher 2021, and 2022. Just before we begin the webinar, I want to remind everyone to please be attentive because at the end of the webinar, we'll be having a question and answer session, and those with the right answers will be getting some exciting prizes. So that was all from my side. Dr. Mubashir will be handing over to you.
Thank you so much. Can you confirm if you can share, if you can see my screen?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay. And the screen is also moving. Okay. So thank you very much for SID UET Peshawar for inviting me for this webinar. The topic of my today's webinar is applications of blockchain. Uh, of course, there are plenty of applications of blockchain in real environment, in real scenario, but I will focus on few of the recent emerging technologies where blockchain has been applied, and I will discuss some more details about it. So just give you a quick introduction about myself. I did Bachelor's of Engineering in Computer Systems Engineering from Mehran UET, and then I moved to France where I completed my MS and PhD, uh, and I then did postdoctorate, and since that time I have been working in the academia in the domain of computer science, wireless communication, blockchain, and other related areas. And these are few of my recent authored and edited books. You can get some more insights by visiting my website. And these are the books. The book that is on the left-hand side is on blockchain systems, how we can apply blockchain systems to communication network. So this book is being served uh, as a curriculum for master's student as a key book here in Ireland at MTU, and there are other universities which also consult this book as a reference book. And on the right hand side, you can see one of the edited book which I edited together with Dr. Mark Rehan, where we focused on how we can apply blockchain in the context of fog and edge computing. So now moving towards the applications of blockchain. Basically, blockchain is a you can think about any system where we are using a database system. So where you are saving record, blockchain can be used. But blockchain is not the solution for all the problems. So when we want to replace or think about changing blockchain uh, uh, or replacing blockchain with uh, from moving from database system to blockchain, we need to carefully think whether blockchain is a feasible solution or not. So the first application area is cryptocurrency. You may have heard about cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, Ethereum. So the underlying technology behind cryptocurrency is basically blockchain, and it was Satoshi Nakamoto who wrote the first paper on the white paper and introduced Bitcoin blockchain back in 2000 at the end of 2008, and then in 2009 Bitcoin was introduced. So the concept of blockchain was first introduced in that white paper where Satoshi Nakamoto introduced this emerging technology or this exciting technology, blockchain. Then we have metaverse. You may have heard about Facebook has changed the name from Facebook to Meta. So basically, they are driving a huge, you know, investment to make realize this metaverse as a reality in the cyber world. The underlying technology again behind metaverse is blockchain. Then we have the new concept of Web3. Web3 is basically a new internet with the decentralization using blockchain and cryptocurrency. Then we have DX. these are basically decentralized applications, and these applications can operate autonomously, typically through the use of smart contracts that runs on blockchain computing, decentralized blockchain systems. We also have DeFi. DeFi is basically decentralized finance. It's a new, financial system, P2P, peer-to-peer financial system, and it offers financial instruments without relying on intermediaries such as brokerages, exchanges, or banks. And the underlying technology is smart contract and a blockchain. And basically, NFTs are basically a non-fungible token, and these are digital, entities which is being used to, trade, and again, NFTs are being registered with the help of blockchain technology. So these are few of the uh, emerging technologies which are renowned globally, and the back end of these are blockchain. But remember that. Uh, this is one area of the applications of blockchain. There are a huge number of applications as well where blockchain has been used. So let me just give you one quick example how blockchain has been used. So here you can see we are trying to buy and sell a virtual land on internet. So this is basically a website known as nextearth.io, and it is the first true land ownership platform on metaverse. And when you visit this website, you can see a map of the whole world, and you can point out a certain location. And then when you point out a certain location, that location, geographical location, will show you who is the current owner of that digital location on the map, and you can see what is the current price. So here I have selected France, and in France I went to Paris, and then I selected Eiffel Tower. So in the middle, you can see the block is basically of Eiffel Tower, and the land price of this Eiffel Tower is around 6 crore 53 lakh rupees. Remember that this is just the price of the digital virtual land of Eiffel Tower. It has nothing to do with the real land of the Eiffel Tower. So this is an important point. So the question is from then why this digital land price is too much high? The reason is that these lands digital lands are being used in gaming, in metaverse, and people are just use it for bragging and just showing, shekhi bagan, what we say, and just to make money out of these digital lands. So that is the main purpose of people buying and selling these lands. So you can see this is a huge amount, 6 crore 53 lakh rupees just for a digital land on metaverse on this website. Now I select another land, NUST, National University of Science and Technology, in Islamabad region. So here I selected a region of NUST, and you can see the land price is around 2 lakh 51,000 PKR, Pakistani rupees. So the price is very much low because nobody is using metaverse, and the land is not that much interested for the people who are playing games, virtual games, or not interested in metaverse. So that's why the price is not that much high. But still, we can see the owner of this, the current owner. Uh, if the current owner is not visible, it means this website is the owner, and they are selling it with the price of 2 lakh 51,000. So similarly, you can check other locations as well through this website. So the main idea is uh, someone created this website, nextearth.io. They took the whole map of the world, and then they make the prices of each digital land on the world, and then people start buying and selling and making profit out of it. These lands are not connected or anyhow related to the actual land of of the country. And now, which technologies were used? Definitely, uh, for buying and selling these types of virtual digital lands, uh, it can only be possible through cryptocurrency. So they use Polygon Matic on their website. It's a type of cryptocurrency. Then, in order to uniquely identify the digital land, they use NFTs, non-fungible tokens, so that each of the land record become unique uh, uh, as far as this website is concerned. Then, in order to save the transactions and save the record, they use blockchain, and again, uh, uh, blockchain is used behind cryptocurrencies and NFTs as well. And then metaverse is the place where this virtual land piece can be used. So this is how the whole website of nextearth.io work. Now there is another website which is known as earth2.io. This is another project where they have their own digital map of the whole world. And again, they are buying and selling and offering, digital lands around the globe. So I opened this website and then went to the same place of Eiffel Tower. And here I can see they are again also selling this digital land of the Eiffel Tower, and they have a certain price for it. Then there is another website, which is basically the first ever virtual world owned by its users. It is known as Decentraland, and you can also visit this website, and they have a very interactive application as well, where people can explore the virtual world. They can have their own digital shops, their boutiques. They can have their gardens, and everything you can imagine in the virtual world. You can have it on this decentralized land, and you can have your own avatars, you can have your own skins, you can have your own equipment, and you can interact with other avatars around the globe. And this is a huge uh, uh, application where people make trading and interacting with people, and having seminars and interactions. So by giving these three examples, I showed you how people are using digital world, things of digital worlds, and how which technologies are being used. So the core technology being used was blockchain. Now, when we talk about trading of these virtual land, let's take an example of the Eiffel Tower. You can see there are three different websites. They are offering you know the digital land of the Eiffel Tower, and there are many other websites as well. So the issue is that this virtual land is bought by with the help of Polygon Matic and USDT cryptocurrency. So this cryptocurrency is not being legally accepted around the globe. So that is one of the major issue. The second issue is that although the complete historical record of this virtual land trading is available, but the same virtual land is being traded by other platforms as well. As you may have noticed, first I open nextearth.io website, and they are selling the digital land of Eiffel Tower. And then I move to another website. They are also selling the same geographical locations, digital land, and people are buying and selling it. So will there be any issue in terms of ownership of this virtual land? Because this virtual land is not being connected to the physical land. This is one of the issue. Is the items that is being sold on these metaverse or decentraland or digital uh, you know digital websites, they are not connected to the physical entities around the globe. So, for example, if you buy the digital land piece of the Nust University, and it has no legal significance. It has no legal importance, no legal value. One cannot claim the original land of the Nust University. So then why people buy these? So these are being used just for use in the metaverse, or using it for bragging, or using it for speculative purposes, just to make earn money, or have some fun. So that's the one of the implication issue of trading these virtual land. Similarly, uh, you know, on a certain website, when you have a digital, record or entity for NFT, the same location is being used by another website. So how this works with other platform? Because there a single NFT, non-fungible token, represent a unique, digital asset. So how multiple NFTs of the same virtual land looks in the real world? Is it possible? Of course, it is not possible. So you can see how things are moving in the digital world. Uh, Issue number four is that one can see the coordinates of this virtual land. He can buy it, sell it, make an auction. So how all these things come into the tax regime? Because these websites are some of them are created in areas which are used for tax invasion, and they are being used for money laundering in some cases. So people invest in these virtual lands just to make their black money white. So and they try to save the paying the tax. When we are in a certain country, when we buy and sell a land, physical land or any other asset, we have to pay the tax to the government. Now when we are buying and selling these huge amount of digital assets having a lot of money, so which country will take and consider the tax out of it? Issue number five is, as per revenue and income tax law, will this virtual land be treated as the actual land? This is an issue, and one has to declare that assets. Will this be considered as a land asset? So, of course, these are few of the questions that are one can easily answer. So, we now understand how trading of these virtual digital assets can be done on internet. These digital assets, whether it's a virtual land of Eiffel Tower or any other area, geographical location, is not coupled with the actual land and real owners of the Eiffel Tower. So you can go and pick the location of UET Peshawar and buy it, but it has no relevance to the actual land of the UET Peshawar, because the owners of the UET Peshawar is the government, the provincial government, or there are administrative authorities, vice chancellors, dean. So they are running this university. So if someone buy the digital land of UET Peshawar on these virtual platforms, it has no significance, no legal importance. So why people use, they can use it in game, and they can say that, okay, I have the land of UT Peshawar, but it has no purpose, it has no utility. And similarly, if they invest a lot in buying this digital land, so why they are doing it? They are doing it just to earn more money out of it, because a lot of other people may get interested just to make money out of it, and then the whole speculative economy came into existence. So these are few of the issues in trading of this virtual land. The point that I'm trying to make over here is that all these emerging technologies, they on the back end, the blockchain is used just to store the record of all this information that we are making, whether we are making any transaction, buying, selling, or recording of the assets. Now there's another application which I introduced you in the start, uh, which is cryptocurrency. So cryptocurrency is one of the technology which through which blockchain was invented. Although there were few traces in the history that people use hashes and other things for saving the record, for securing the record, but it was Satoshi Nakamoto who first introduced the concept of cryptocurrency, Bitcoin cryptocurrency. And in Bitcoin cryptocurrency, he used the concept of blockchain. So that was the starting point of blockchain. You can, in simple words, you can say. So here you can see prices of different cryptocurrencies. It's back in July 2022. There are some famous cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, XRP, Litecoin, etc., etc. And right now, there are more than 17,000 cryptocurrencies exist in the world, and you can yourself create your own cryptocurrency. But the problem is that one has to create a value in those cryptocurrencies. Simply making a cryptocurrency does not, make you rich. Uh, you have to create or you have to make people believe that this cryptocurrency has some value, so that people start buying and selling, and then uh, the whole speculative uh, regime came into here. So here you can see the price of the Bitcoin. So it is in US dollar. On the x-axis, you can see the month. It is from July 2021 to July 22, the whole year. And on the y-axis, you can see the price in US dollar. So you can see one Bitcoin price back in July 2021 was 30,000 US dollar. So if you just convert it approximately, it was about 60 lakh Pakistani rupees, 60 lakh Pakistani rupees. Then after a few months, in October 2021, the price of one Bitcoin increased to 60,000 US dollar. It became 1 crore 20 lakh Pakistani rupees. So just in few months, a person who bought one Bitcoin got a profit of 60 lakh rupees. And this is a huge return on investment. If you buy a real estate, or if you buy a car, or if you buy gold or any other asset, you cannot earn that much huge amount of profit out of it. So that is the reason why people are so much crazy about investing in Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. This is one of the reasons, because in just 2 or 3 months, you make 60 lakh rupees, and people do it. uh, but there's a flip side as well. So let's say if someone bought a Bitcoin in October 2021 of 60,000 US dollar, like 1 crore 20 lakh rupees. And after a few months, the price came to 20,000 US dollar or even less. Then that person will lose the whole investment. Okay, there are some cryptocurrencies like Luna and other where people invested. The price was going upwards and downwards, and then suddenly the cryptocurrency got crashed, and then they lost all their investment and all their saved money. So this is the primary reason why people are so much interested in investing in Bitcoin. If you look at the statistics provided by the researchers and scientists, Bitcoin has been introduced like a currency, and the purpose of currency is to use it as a medium of exchange to buy and to buy products and services. But when you look at statistically, 95% of the people who are buying and selling Bitcoin, they are just using it for investment purpose, and less than 5% are using it for any real trade and buying and selling of products and services. And this is not just about fluctuation of the price in terms of months and year. When you look at the daily price or weekly price, the price is so much fluctuating in a day, in an hour, that in just few seconds or few minutes, people are making huge amount of profits, and they also lose a huge amount of money as well. So, so the point is basically, since at the back of Bitcoin there is no real assets, it does not represent any real asset or real any real item. So people just join together and make the price of the Bitcoin uh, up and down and make money out of it. Now, where these cryptocurrencies are available, so there are cryptocurrency marketplaces and exchange wallets. For example, Coinbase is one of the cryptocurrency exchange. You have Binance, you have Bitfinex, and you have different wallets where you can download and start using interacting with these cryptocurrencies. But remember that there is strict policy in different countries. Some countries have prohibited these cryptocurrencies. They do not consider it as a legal currency. and it is being used in, you know, terrorist financing or money laundering or other unfair means. And from the perspective of Sharia, majority of the religious scholars, they also suggest to prohibit using investing in cryptocurrencies. So now there are some features of cryptocurrency. For example, cryptocurrency use strong cryptographic algorithms such as encryption, digital signature, hashing, and they are managed through computer networks, blockchain. So the code of any cryptocurrency is available on GitHub and or on their website. So one can download that code and then change that code according to their own requirement, and then start creating their own project. Uh, so so when you look at the code of the Bitcoin, you will see how blocks are being created, how hashing is being used, how digital signatures are used, and for signing the transactions. So all this information is readily available on Bitcoin website as well as GitHub. So basically, in cryptocurrency, they say that they claim that no one can control it, and there is no central authority or banks who can influence. Uh, these cryptocurrencies can be purchased through cryptocurrency exchanges, and a new currency is being created by mining process through the mining reward and transaction fees. So Bitcoin cryptocurrency is basically a transaction ledger. It does not have any intrinsic value. Intrinsic value means it does not have any value in itself, and Bitcoin in itself does not have any benefit or utility. It does not physically exist, and the second thing is that it does not digitally exist. Remember that when I say Bitcoin does not digitally exist, it means that uh, uh, like a software. For example, if you are using any graphic design software, it has it has some physical existence, digital existence. You can use it for making graphic designing. Similarly, when you are using WhatsApp, it is a software. It has some digital existence, and you use it for communication purpose. But when we talk about Bitcoin, so Bitcoin is basically just a simple entry in the ledger. It's just a number, and people start trading those transactions and digital digits among themselves, and this is how the Bitcoin cryptocurrency works. So coins as such do not exist. There are only transactions which assign the ownership right, and it's the state of the ledger that is being updated. And Bitcoin is not even a software; it is a protocol set of rules that says how Bitcoin cryptocurrency will function. So that was about the introduction about cryptocurrency. So until now, I gave you an example of different technologies where blockchain has been used. I gave you an example of NFT, uh, metaverse, uh, digital land, buying and selling, and cryptocurrency. So all of these technologies are using blockchain. Now, in order to understand about blockchain, we already know that famous cryptocurrencies are based on blockchain technology, and blockchain is basically a distributed ledger system. So, how we define blockchain? A blockchain is basically a distributed ledger that is structured into a linked list of blocks. So, you have data structures like arrays and different other data structure, linked list, arrays. So blockchain is composed of the data structure known as linked list. And the in simple word, when you talk about a ledger is basically a principal book or computer file for recording of information of any kind. And there are several types of ledgers available in the market. For example, sales ledger, purchase ledger, general ledger, which store different informations ranging from asset recording, liabilities, income, expenses, or capital. Now look at this figure. On the left hand side, you have before the arrival of computer, you have records which were saved manually on registers. Think about 40, 50 years ago, where people have to maintain the record of land record or names of the people who are buying and selling something. So all these things were recorded manually on registers. Then we have computers uh, uh, arrived, and when the computer arrived, people start saving records on computers, and for that they use some basic softwares like data processing softwares, word processing softwares, or spreadsheets. But as the record grow, these are not dedicated software, so they design dedicated database systems. So we have database management systems where people store and record huge amount of information, and generally there are different types of database systems available, but the core idea behind the database system is that they are centrally controlled. There are some distributed database systems as well, but again, in database systems we have some central entities that are controlling the whole record of the whole system. So this is basically the traditional way of storing information. Right now, when you look at Nadra, so Nadra has a database system on their centralized servers. They have also backup servers as well. So any person around Pakistan in any city, when they try to reach access the record of the person, they have access rights and they access to the server, and then they make any modification in the database of Nadra. Now, if something God forbidden, if something goes bad, if the server of the Nadra goes down, the whole offices of Nadra they cannot access to the record. So that is one of the bottlenecks. So there are some other bottlenecks as well. So in order to address those issues, researchers came up with the idea of blockchain. And remember that it was Satoshi Nakamoto who first proposed the idea of using blockchain. So he combined different technologies like cryptography and finance and computer security, and then he proposed this idea of blockchain. So he is the inventor of the first cryptocurrency Bitcoin as well as blockchain. So in blockchain, the main idea is to replicate the data on all the computers. Means you, instead of putting the main file of the database on a single server, you make copy of that database, whole database, and you replicate it on all the computers. So it means that all the computers have the same set of record on all their systems. So this makes system very redundant and very flexible, and this is one of the unique feature of blockchain. So in simple words, blockchain is is used for storing information, and instead of storing information on a single server, blockchain saves record on all the computers. So this is one of the key principles of blockchain. Now, when we compare traditional banks and blockchain, remember that in a banking model, we have database systems being used. And in Bitcoin, here you have Bitcoin and banking model comparison, where you can see in Bitcoin you have consensus algorithm, while in banking model you have central bank which oversee all the operations. Then in the uh, in the transaction, all the transactions that happens, they happens with the help of blockchain functionality in Bitcoin, while in banking model you have database management systems that functions behind the banking model. So here this is an example where Alice she wants to send some money. So she check her account by using her credentials, and she sends $1,000 to Bob. So when she sends $1,000 to Bob, uh, then the Alice banks basically look at the ledger, see whether the balance is available, and then make a transaction to Bob's bank. And when Bob's try to access his account, he can see the updated amount in his account. And if something goes wrong, in the middle you have the central bank that oversee all these functions. So this is typically how a traditional banking transaction happens in the context of bank. But when you think about a transaction in a blockchain, basically you have uh, you have all the computers that are connected with each other, and there is no central entity, there is no central authority who controls. So if Alice wants to send money to Bob, then she make a transaction, and that transaction will be broadcasted to the whole network, and the complete copy of the ledger is being already present there in on all the computers, and people start updating their record. And there are some details, like there is a mining process behind it, through which you know different security checks are being made, and then the record is updated on all the computers of the ledger. Now here you have some more detailed information how a transaction or how a block is being created in a Bitcoin, and it's the same procedure that happens in blockchain basically. So whenever someone make wants to make a transaction, they add a transaction to the they add a transaction. So TX is transaction, and then this transaction is validated by miners. They check double spending, invalid references, value, etc. And if the transaction is being valid, that transaction is put into the pool of unconfirmed transactions that is known as mempools. So once all the transactions are accumulated, or as soon as the transactions are accumulated in the pool of unconfirmed transactions, mempool, then candidate blocks are formed by the miners. So any miner can come and pick the set of transaction and make a block, and then start solving the cryptographic puzzle. And once they are able to solve the cryptographic puzzle, the winner is declared, and that winner will solve the block broadcast, and new block is being verified by the miners, and then in this manner new block is being added to the blockchain. There are some more details in the whole process, but typically this is how a block is being created in blockchain, in Bitcoin blockchain. And this is the typical formation of blocks. Here you can see the first block is known as Genesis block. So for any blockchain, the first block where the blockchain has started is known as Genesis block. And then for each block, you have two segments. One is block header and one is data transaction. So in the block header, you have the block number, you have the hashing through which the blocks are connected with each other. And this is how blocks are being connected and formed. So now the question is how blockchain is different from distributed ledger technology, or how blockchain is different from database system. So currently in all our computer systems, we are using database management system for say, storing of record. And how this distributed ledger system or blockchain is differs. So basically in database system, we have common records, both in database system and blockchain. Uh, in database system, management system, we generally have a central entity or backup servers, but in blockchain, we don't have any central entity. And in database system, the consensus is achieved with the help of central entity. It's the central entity who allows us to make any modifications or new entries in the database system. But in blockchain, the consensus is being managed through the mining process. Duplication of data, there are few servers which serve as a backup server, or few nodes contain the information, replicate information. While in blockchain, every node all the record of the database. So this is how we can differentiate blockchain with database systems. And there are some other features as well. For example, blockchain use hashing. Hashing is one of the strongest, way to make blockchain system secure. While this is not available in database system, or generally database system do not use hashing. Similarly, we have the concept of public-private key, which is being used heavily in blockchain. Similarly, we have the sequence of records in blockchain. If the sequence goes out, the blockchain system will not work, while this is not the case with database management system. And there are some other features as well, which makes blockchain very secure as compared to database system. That's why you have this the first application of blockchain was Bitcoin cryptocurrency, and as you can see, it shows its power. So that's why people start using blockchain in other application areas. So when you look at the evolution of blockchain, it was 2008 when the Bitcoin's white paper was published by Satoshi Nakamoto, and it was the first paper in which the concept of blockchain was introduced. Then in 2009, the first Bitcoin block was created. Means Bitcoin was functional. They started their blockchain in 2009, and then time goes on, and then they make further changes in the concept of blockchain. Then if you see, uh, in 2003, Ethereum was launched. So Ethereum is the advanced form of blockchain. They make some drastic changes in the concept of Bitcoin, and then what they propose, they introduce a smart contract in blockchain. And this with the introduction of a smart contract, the whole blockchain area was got a lot of attention, and new applications were being created, and now blockchain is being used everywhere. And let me tell you, uh, if you see the applications of blockchain in finance or in cryptocurrencies or in metaverse, it has only 5 to 10% application area. But 90%, around almost around 90% applications are in supply chain management, or in banking, or in other education sector and other areas. So blockchain is being used in 90% of the times in rest of the applications around the globe, and it's only 5 to 10% where blockchain is being used in managing cryptocurrencies, etc. So that was about applications of blockchain. Just to give you an idea about the classification of blockchain, blockchain systems can be classified into three broad categories: public blockchain, private blockchain, and consortium blockchain. When we talk about public blockchain, it means the record is fully available to anyone. They can check any transaction. They can trail any source of the transaction, and it's completely decentralized. When we talk about private blockchain, it's on the other extreme. It's basically completely centralized. And then you have consortium blockchain, which is partially centralized, where you have a consortium of companies which manages the blockchain. So remember that when you think about deploying blockchain system to any application area, first think about what are your requirements, whether your system wants to make all the data available publicly, that anyone can go and check, and nobody has a full control. Then you will select public blockchain. If you want to have some control uh, by a few entities, then you go for consortium blockchain. And if you really want to make your blockchain private data, then you will go for private blockchain. So to understand this, let's take an example of Nadra. Let's say the current Nadra system is working on database system, and you are thinking that you shift Nadra system to blockchain. Now, which blockchain you will apply? Public blockchain, architecture, private blockchain, or consortium? So you will see what is the requirement of Nadra. In Nadra, Nadra is a government entity, and they want to have a strict control on adding and deleting the records of the data of the citizens of Pakistan. So they cannot make it public, because in public blockchain, anyone can make a transaction, anyone can modify the data. So you can consider using blockchain, but public blockchain is not a feasible solution at all for Nadra database. Moreover, if you make the Nadra data publicly available, all the private information of all the citizens of Pakistan will be publicly available. So that's a breach of privacy. So that's why you will never go for public blockchain uh, for Nadra. So, in this manner, once you have a complete understanding of the architecture of the blockchain, then you can apply blockchain to a certain use case application. Now, these, like the OSI model or TCP/IP model, we also have layers in the blockchain system. So we have, hardware layer, we have data organization and topology layer, network layer, and you have the application layer. So these layers will help you to organize your efforts in when you are designing applications for the blockchain system. So for example, when you are thinking about using public blockchain, then you need to select an appropriate consensus algorithm, because for public blockchain you have a certain type of consensus algorithm that can only work. Rest of the algorithms may not work. So this is how you will think about the layers in the blockchain systems. I have mentioned some more details in my book, and you can also refer to other research papers and books where you can find detailed information about the layers of the blockchain system. So just to summarize, when we talk about blockchain ecosystem, so initially it was the cryptocurrency Bitcoin which introduced the concept of blockchain, and it's a type 1 only cryptocurrency thing which is blockchain. Then you have type 2, where you have cryptocurrency plus smart contract business logic, and the example is Ethereum, which has this smart contract capability. And then you have the type 3, where you only have the business logic and there's no cryptocurrency. It's a Hyperledger. Hyperledger, you can use Hyperledger. They provide you very strong blockchain software, sources, and people have been using it in lot of applications. And then you have the type 4, which is blockchain platform as a service like Microsoft Azure. So Microsoft provides you a cloud services where you can also have blockchain platform as a service. So you can select your nodes, you can select your consensus algorithm type of the nodes, and you can create your own blockchain application for a specific use case scenario. So this is how we can define blockchain ecosystem. So here I would like to end my presentation, and I first ask few questions, and then I will open the floor for general questions. Is it okay, Doctor?
Sure, sir. Let's give a moment for the students to ask questions if they have any.
Okay, sure.
किसी स्टूडेंट का कोई सवाल? फिजा?
अस्सलामुअलैकुम सर। सर आपने जेनेसिस ब्लॉक की बात की, जैसे सेंट्रल फंड ऑफ प्रमोटिंग पहली प्लान बताई थी, तो डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन के तहत सर जेनेसिस ब्लॉक के थ्रू तो कुछ भी वो कर सकता है। मतलब जो मैं जेनेसिस ब्लॉक का क्रिएटर हूँ तो मैं अपने ब्लॉक में कुछ भी चेंज कर सकता हूँ। इसके बारे में आप ज़रा डिटेल बता दें सर। वो दूसरी क्वेश्चन ये थी, एनएफटी के बारे में आपने बताया कि एक लैंड को अगर आप खरीदते हैं तो हर लैंड का अपना एक एनएफटी बन जाता है। तो एनएफटी एक यूनिक आइडेंटिटी रखता है। आपने सर बताया कि 3 वेबसाइट में ये अवेलेबल है, तो इसकी जो यूनिकनेस है वो तो फिर खत्म हो जाएगी। सर वो तीसरा क्वेश्चन ये था कि हम टैक्स पेयर अथॉरिटी किसको माने, क्योंकि डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन में तो एक सेंट्रल अथॉरिटी होती नहीं है और टैक्स किसको दिया जाए। थैंक यू सर।
जी वालेकुम अस्सलाम, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। मैं कोशिश करता हूँ आपके तीनों सवाल मुझे याद रहें। पहला सवाल आपका जेनेसिस ब्लॉक से मुतालिक था। तो मैं अगर आपका सवाल सही समझा, देखें आप अपनी ब्लॉकचेन शुरू कर रहे हैं तो जेनेसिस ब्लॉक आपका फर्स्ट ब्लॉक कहलाएगा। अब लाजमी नहीं है कि आप उससे कोई क्रिप्टो करेंसी लॉन्च करें। आप कोई भी एप्लीकेशन एरिया को ब्लॉकचेन में जब यूज़ करेंगे रिकॉर्ड करने के लिए, तो उसका जेनेसिस ब्लॉक में वो इन्फॉर्मेशन सेव होगी। मिसाल के तौर पे आप कहते हैं कि पेशावर में जितनी भी गाड़ियों की रजिस्ट्रेशन है उसके रिकॉर्ड को आप सेव करने के लिए एक ब्लॉकचेन सिस्टम बनाते हैं। तो जो पहला ब्लॉक होगा वो उस ब्लॉकचेन का गाड़ियों के रजिस्ट्रेशन का जेनेसिस ब्लॉक कहलाया जाएगा, और उसके अंदर जो इन्फॉर्मेशन आप सेव करेंगे वो गाड़ी ओनर कौन है, गाड़ी का मॉडल क्या है, वगैरह वगैरह, ये सारी इन्फॉर्मेशन सेव करेंगे। ये तो आपका जेनेसिस ब्लॉक से मुतालिक हो गया। अब जब ये ब्लॉक बन गया और ब्लॉकचेन लॉन्च हो गई, उसके बाद नेक्स्ट ब्लॉक पिछले वाले ब्लॉक से लिंक होगा, और फिर उसमें जो है ना आप क्रिप्टोग्राफिक हैशिंग एल्गोरिथम्स यूज़ करेंगे। तो अब जब आपकी ब्लॉकचेन डेवलप होती चली जाएगी, तो ऐसा नहीं है कि आपका जो पहला ब्लॉक है वो चेंज हो जाए। यही तो ब्लॉकचेन की खूबसूरती है कि जब आप एक मरतबा इसमें ब्लॉक ऐड कर लेते हैं, कोई रिकॉर्ड सेव कर लेते हैं, तो उसमें एक फुल स्टॉप के बराबर भी कोई डाटा चेंज नहीं हो सकता। यही वो यूनिक फीचर है जो ब्लॉकचेन सिस्टम को बहुत ज़्यादा सिक्योर बनाता है। आपका दूसरा सवाल NFT से मुतालिक था गालिबन, कि जब अगर बहुत सारी वेबसाइट्स हैं तो वो NFTs बना रही हैं एक ही रिकॉर्ड की, तो उसमें यूनिकनेस तो ख़त्म हो गई। जी बिल्कुल, ये एक इशू है, और यही मैंने पॉइंट आउट किया था कि NFT का पर्पज़ तो ये था कि आप एक यूनिक डिजिटल रिकॉर्ड को मेंटेन करते हैं, डिजिटल रिकॉर्ड को, और यहाँ पे हर एक जो है ना अपना डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म बना के NFTs जारी कर रहा है। तो ये बेसिकली उसकी एक्सप्लॉयटेशन है NFT के कॉन्सेप्ट की, जो रिसर्चर्स ने दिया था। तीसरा आपका टैक्स रिजीम से मुतालिक था। तो देखें, एक है सेंट्रलाइज सिस्टम। सेंट्रलाइज सिस्टम के अंदर आपकी गवर्नमेंट्स जो है ना वो रोल प्ले करती हैं। तो जो आप डिसेंट्रलाइज की बात करते हैं कॉन्सेप्ट की, तो ये एक पॉलिटिकल बेसिकली कॉन्सेप्ट आ जाता है। उसमें आप ये कहते हैं कि यार हमें कोई गवर्नमेंट नहीं चाहिए। यानी अगर पाकिस्तान की बात करें तो पाकिस्तान में गवर्नमेंट ऑफ पाकिस्तान है जो कि सारे इदारों को चला रही है। उसके नीचे अदलिया भी है, फौज भी है, जो है ना, और दीगर ब्यूरोक्रेसी भी है। अब आप ये कहते हैं कि अगर हम पाकिस्तान की हुकूमत को डिसेंट्रलाइज कर दें तो कुछ हद तक तो डिसेंट्रलाइज हो सकती है, मगर अगर आपकी डिसेंट्रलाइज से मुराद ये है कि कोई गवर्नमेंट रहे ही नहीं, तो फिर ये तो निज़ाम कैसे चलेगा। तो ये बेसिकली एक कॉन्सेप्ट है जो कि आलमी सतह पे दिया जा रहा है, मगर एक्चुअली वो दुनिया उसको कैसे कबूल कर सकती है, क्योंकि फिर जो इंतज़ामी उमूर है वो ख़त्म हो जाएंगे। तो कुछ हद तक तो कुछ चीज़ों के अंदर तो डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन मतलूब होती है, मगर अगर पूरी दुनिया से इंतज़ामी उमूर को ही हटा दिया जाए तो फिर तो दुनिया कैसे चलेगी। तो बेसिकली ये एक्सप्लॉयटेशन है एक तरह से निज़ाम की। जी, और कोई सवाल?
Sir, we have two questions on the chat. Zishan Javed from Punjab is asking, how can he contact you?
जी, आप मुझे ईमेल कर सकते हैं। आप मेरा नाम सर्च कर लें गूगल पे, आपको ईमेल एड्रेसेस मिल जाएंगे, आप वहाँ पे मुझे कांटेक्ट कर सकते हैं।
मैम आप पूछ आप पूछ लें।
जी सर, अस्सलाम वालेकुम। सर ये जो sir, this is Engineer Sumaya from Computer Systems Engineering Department. Very nice presentation on application of blockchain technologies. Sir, I have a couple of questions. एक तो question ये है कि there are so many blockchains available nowadays, right? So if we are developing smart contracts, we have a lot of options. So which blockchain should we target? Because there are public and there are open source blockchains as well. And there are some layer one, layer two. So how to make that decision on which blockchain to use and to deploy smart contracts? Second question is that there are so many applications that we can deploy on as a smart contract on blockchain, but how to do it? So a lot of times we have issues in the deployment. So if you can give some your insights or your experience in this regard. Thank you so much.
वालेकुम अस्सलाम। आपने सवाल का शुक्रिया। देखिए, पहला सवाल आपका ये था कि आप ब्लॉकचेन, बहुत सारे प्लेटफॉर्म्स अवेलेबल हैं, ओपन सोर्स कोड अवेलेबल हैं, कौन सा ब्लॉकचेन हम यूज़ करें। तो देखें, अगर से आप हाइपर लेजर की बात करें तो हाइपर लेजर के बहुत सारे प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं, फैब्रिक है, बहुत सारे प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं। तो उनके अंदर आप सबसे पहले ये चेक करेंगे कि आपकी ब्लॉकचेन की रिक्वायरमेंट क्या है, आपकी रिक्वायरमेंट्स क्या है, उसके हिसाब से फिर आप कोई ब्लॉकचेन का प्लेटफॉर्म सेलेक्ट करेंगे। मिसाल के तौर पे कुछ ब्लॉकचेन्स ऐसी होती हैं जो कि ट्रांजैक्शन स्पीड जो आपको दे रही हैं वो 200 और 300 ट्रांजैक्शंस पर मिनट के हिसाब से दे रही हैं, और कुछ ब्लॉकचेन ऐसी होती हैं जो कि आपको 5000 ट्रांजैक्शन पर मिनट के हिसाब से दे रही हैं, या और से ज़्यादा या कम दे रही हैं। अब आपने देखना है कि जिस एरिया के अंदर आप ब्लॉकचेन एप्लीकेशन को इम्प्लीमेंट कर रहे हैं उसमें आपकी ट्रांजेक्शन्स की रिक्वायरमेंट कितनी है, उस हिसाब से आप उस ब्लॉकचेन कोड को सेलेक्ट करेंगे। एक चीज़ तो ये हो गई। दूसरा ये कि कंसेंसस एल्गोरिथम के हिसाब से आप सेलेक्ट करेंगे कि कौन सा कंसेंसस एल्गोरिथम सर्टेन ब्लॉकचेन इम्प्लीमेंटेशन प्रोवाइड कर रही है ओपन सोर्स, वो उसमें कौन सा कंसेंसस एल्गोरिथम यूज़ किया गया है, प्रूफ ऑफ एनर्जी यूज़ किया गया है, प्रूफ ऑफ वर्क यूज़ किया गया है, प्रूफ ऑफ स्टेक यूज़ किया गया है। फिर हर एक के एडवांटेजेस और डिसएडवांटेजेस हैं, उनके हिसाब से आप सेलेक्ट कर रहे होते हैं एक सर्टेन ब्लॉकचेन इम्प्लीमेंटेशन। तो ये आपकी रिक्वायरमेंट्स पे डिपेंड करता है। बहुत सारे ओपन सोर्स अवेलेबल हैं, आप खुद किसी ओपन सोर्स को लेके ब्लॉकचेन को उसमें अपनी रिक्वायरमेंट्स के मुताबिक भी चेंजेस कर सकते हैं। एक तो ये बात हो गई। दूसरी ये कि स्मार्ट कॉन्ट्रैक्ट के अंदर देखें, इथीरियम के अंदर इथीरियम आपको बहुत ज़्यादा स्मार्ट कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स की फैसिलिटी प्रोवाइड करता है, मगर इथीरियम का जो इकोसिस्टम है उसमें क्रिप्टो करेंसी इन्वॉल्व है और वहाँ पे पूरा उनका निज़ाम ही उसी तरह से चल रहा है। तो बजाय इसके कि आप इथीरियम के स्मार्ट कॉन्ट्रैक्ट या इथीरियम पे अपनी ब्लॉकचेन को डेवलप करें, आप अपना स्टैंड अलोन सिस्टम या तो ब्लॉकचेन का खुद बनाएं और उसके लिए आप जो है ना स्मार्ट कॉन्ट्रैक्ट सॉलिडिटी में यूज़ करें या किसी और लैंग्वेज को यूज़ करते हुए जावा के अंदर भी यूज़ कर सकते हैं, आप बना सकते हैं। और उसको आप करेंगे तो आपका कंट्रोल आपके पास रहेगा ब्लॉकचेन सिस्टम का। वरना अगर आप इथीरियम पे बनाते हैं या किसी और प्लेटफॉर्म पे बनाते हैं तो आप अपनी ब्लॉकचेन को उनके हवाले कर रहे हैं, अपने सारे रिकॉर्ड को उनके हवाले कर रहे हैं बेसिकली, और वहाँ पे क्रिप्टो करेंसी का इकोसिस्टम भी है। तो इस बात से इसमें थोड़ा सा आप देखें कि आपने ब्लॉकचेन सिस्टम जो बनाना है, यानी ऐसा ही है कि आप जब कोई सॉफ्टवेयर डिज़ाइन करते हैं तो सॉफ्टवेयर आप किसी से आउटसोर्स कर रहे हैं और उसी को कंट्रोल दे रहे हैं, या खुद आप अपना इन हाउस सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलप करें। अगर आप इन हाउस सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलप करेंगे तो वो ज़्यादा बेहतर होगा कि वो कंट्रोल सारा आपके पास होगा, मगर फिर आपके पास वो एक्सपर्टीज़ भी होनी चाहिए उस इन हाउस सॉफ्टवेयर को डेवलप करने की।
अस्सलाम सर। सर मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि जो माइनिंग होती है सर, इसके बारे में थोड़ा कॉन्सेप्ट क्लियर करना था कि माइनिंग और के जरिए भी ब्लॉक्स बनते हैं, और इसको अगर हम बिजनेस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से देखें तो माइनिंग क्या ये हम कर सकते हैं?
जी, माइनिंग के अंदर आप होता यह है कि ब्लॉकचेन के अंदर आप एक क्रिप्टोग्राफिक पजल को सॉल्व कर रहे होते हैं, और जो बंदा पहले क्रिप्टोग्राफिक पजल को सॉल्व कर लेता है वो विनर ऑफ द माइनिंग प्रोसेस कहलाता है। और जो माइनिंग प्रोसेस का विनर कहलाता है उसको एज अ रिवॉर्ड जो है ना जो भी करेंसी में जहाँ पे आपने माइनिंग की है उसका कुछ सर्टेन अमाउंट दिया जाता है। मिसाल के तौर पर अगर हम बिटकॉइन की बात करें तो बिटकॉइन के अंदर मेमपोस में बहुत सारी ट्रांजेक्शन्स आके स्टोर हो जाती हैं। अब दुनिया में कोई भी बंदा माइनर बन सकता है और माइनर जाके वो क्रिप्टोग्राफिक पजल को सॉल्व करे, और जो भी बंदा उसमें विनर बनेगा उसको सर्टेन फीस जो जो अमाउंट है माइनिंग रिवॉर्ड वो उसको मिल जाएगा, और वो बहुत ज़्यादा अमाउंट होता है, कई बिटकॉइन के अंदर होता है। तो अगर आप एक बिटकॉइन आजकल 90,000 US डॉलर का या 1 लाख US डॉलर का मिल रहा है, तो आप अंदाज़ा करें कि एक ब्लॉक को माइन करने के लिए जो उसको रिवॉर्ड मिलेगा वो कितने करोड़ रुपए तक चला जाएगा पाकिस्तानी। तो इस बात से लोग माइनिंग करते हैं। अच्छा, प्रॉब्लम यह है कि अगर कोई बंदा माइनिंग करना चाहे तो वो माइनिंग में सक्सेसफुल नहीं हो सकता। उसकी वजह यह है कि जो बड़े बड़े माइनिंग पूल्स हैं बिटकॉइन के कॉन्टेक्स्ट के अंदर, वही ज़्यादातर माइनिंग कर रहे होते हैं। या तो फिर आप माइनिंग पूल का हिस्सा बन जाते हैं, माइनिंग पूल में हिस्सा बन के आप अपनी रिसोर्सेज को उनके साथ लगा के क्रिप्टोग्राफिक पजल को सॉल्व करने की कोशिश कर रहे होते हैं, और फिर जब वो उनको माइनिंग रिवॉर्ड मिलता है तो आपको कुछ हिस्सा दे देते हैं और आपको कुछ अर्निंग मिल जाती है, कुछ प्रॉफिट मिल जाता है माइनिंग के अंदर। मगर ओवरऑल ये सवाल मैंने स्कॉलर्स से, इस्लामिक स्कॉलर्स से पूछा था, तो उन्होंने कहा कि ये पूरा जो क्रिप्टो करेंसी का जो निज़ाम है या जो माइनिंग प्रोसेस है, ये सारी चीज़ें हैं, ये चूँकि स्पेकुलेशन, गैम्बलिंग और इन चीज़ों में मुनहसर है, तो इस बात से बीइंग अ मुस्लिम हमें इन चीज़ों से अवॉइड करना चाहिए। ये पाकिस्तान भर के जो मेजॉरिटी उलमा इकराम में बड़े बड़े दारुल इफ्ता हैं, दारुल हक्कानिया हो गया या दारुल कराची हो गया या बनोरी टाउन हो गया, ये वहाँ के उलमा इकराम की यही राय है। तो उनकी राय पे जो बंदा अमल करना चाहे तो वो अमल करके इन चीज़ों से बच सकता है।
सर ये दूसरा सर क्वेश्चन ये है कि कोई भी किसी चीज को हम बाय करते हैं तो उसका रेट ज्यादा हो जाता है, उसको हम सेल करते हैं तो रेट कम हो जाता है, इसी तरह की बिटकॉइन भी है। तो सर ये जो ब्लॉक्स तो हमारे पास बनते रहते हैं टाइम के साथ साथ, तो सर फिर जो क्या जब इसका सेलिंग ज्यादा हो जाती है, बिटकॉइन का रेट उससे कम हो जाता है, क्या उससे उसकी ब्लॉक्स बनने की जो रफ्तार है वो भी कम हो जाती है?
जी, ब्लॉक बनने की जो रफ्तार है वो कई चीज़ों पे डिपेंड करती है। बिटकॉइन की अगर हम बात करें तो बेसिकली आपकी नंबर ऑफ ट्रांजेक्शन्स कितनी आ रही है मेमपूल के अंदर है, फिर ट्रांजेक्शन्स पे ट्रांजेक्शन एक फ़ीस होती है। तो आपके पास बाज़ मरतबा जो माइनर्स होते हैं वो वेल ट्रांजेक्शन्स को लेते हैं, यानी ऐसी ट्रांजेक्शन्स जिनकी ट्रांजेक्शन फ़ीस ज़्यादा हो उनको वो प्रेफर कर रहे होते हैं। तो बहुत सारी ट्रांजेक्शन्स ऐसी होती हैं जो कि पीछे पड़ी रहती हैं, आइडल रहती हैं, तो उस वजह से भी ब्लॉक की बनने की रफ्तार पे इफेक्ट पड़ रहा होता है। मगर इन जनरल आपकी एक अगर आप बिटकॉइन की वेबसाइट पे स्टैटिस्टिक्स पे जाके देख लें तो आपको पता चलेगा एक कंसिस्टेंट ब्लॉक क्रिएशन स्पीड है जो कि डिपेंड करती है ट्रांजैक्शन साइज पे और प्रोसेसिंग पावर पे और डिफ़िकल्टी पे। तो ये इसके जो टेक्निकल ग्राफ्स हैं तो ये तो आप मेरी बुक में देख सकते हैं या और दूसरे रिसर्च पेपर्स में देख लें, जहाँ पे ये बताया गया है कि किस जो ब्लॉकचेन में जो ब्लॉक क्रिएशन है वो किन किन फैक्टर्स पे डिपेंड करती है।
All right, so that's all from our side. Let's move on with the Q&A session.
जी मैं पहला क्वेश्चन मैं ये पूछना चाहूँगा कि कैन यू अप्लाई ब्लॉकचेन टू एवरी एप्लीकेशन वेयर वी ट्रेडिशनली यूज डेटाबेस सिस्टम? सो दिस इज द फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन।
Whoever wants to answer this, they can raise their hand और हम mic पहुंचा देंगे।
जी मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि क्या आप ब्लॉकचेन को हर एप्लीकेशन पे अप्लाई कर सकते हैं जहाँ पे आप डेटाबेस सिस्टम यूज़ कर रहे हो, यानी जहाँ जहाँ आजकल डेटाबेस सिस्टम यूज़ हो रहा है आंखें बंद करके आप ब्लॉकचेन यूज़ कर सकते हैं?
सर इसके लिए तो हम यूज कर सकते हैं, लेकिन सेंट्रलाइज ब्लॉकचेन ट्रेडिशनल डेटाबेस के लिए यूज कर सकते हैं। अदरवाइज जो डिसेंट्रलाइज के बाद जो 10% आपने बात की, इसके लिए हर कोई के लिए यूज करना फिर मुश्किल हो जाता है, क्योंकि डेटा की इंटीग्रिटी जो है फिर वो मुश्किल हो जाती है।
नहीं तो इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि हम हर जगह अप्लाई नहीं कर सकते ब्लॉकचेन को?
Mic.
हाँ सर, हर डेटाबेस के लिए तो फिर मतलब डेटा इंटीग्रिटी अगर है तो फिर हर के लिए यूज हो सकती है।
यानी आप कह रहे हैं कि अगर सेंट्रलाइज सिस्टम हो, सेंट्रलाइज ब्लॉकचेन हो तो फिर वो हर जगह यूज़ हो सकती है।
जी सर।
ठीक है, तो एक तरीके से आपका सवाल का जवाब दुरुस्त है, मगर इसको अगर इस तरीके से देख लें कि देखें ब्लॉकचेन का कॉन्सेप्ट ही डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन पे है। तो आप सेंट्रलाइज ब्लॉकचेन को ना सोचें, आप ये सोचें कि डिसेंट्रलाइज जो जो सिस्टम है वहाँ पे ब्लॉकचेन यूज़ होनी है। मगर हर डिसेंट्रलाइज सिस्टम के अंदर हम ब्लॉकचेन को यूज़ नहीं कर सकते क्योंकि प्राइवेसी का इशू है। हम नहीं चाहते कि हमारा डाटा ऑनलाइन हर कोई देख ले बात सिस्टम्स के अंदर। तो इस वास्ते हम हर एप्लीकेशन में आंखें बंद करके ब्लॉकचेन को यूज़ नहीं कर सकते। दूसरा मेरा क्वेश्चन है व्हाई हैशिंग एल्गोरिथम इज नेसेसरी इन ब्लॉकचेन? हैशिंग एल्गोरिथम ज़रूरी क्यों होते हैं ब्लॉकचेन के अंदर?
So I think hashing इसलिए use होती है कि you can cross check when you have sent over the some place else. Cross check करने के लिए सही होता है, आसान होता है।
जी बिल्कुल ठीक है। आसान अल्फाज में हम ये कह सकते हैं क्रॉस चेक करने के लिए डाटा की इंटीग्रिटी को कि डाटा सही तौर पे उसमें चेंजेस तो नहीं की गई, बिल्कुल हम उसके लिए भी चेक यूज़ करते हैं। मेरा तीसरा क्वेश्चन ये होगा व्हाट वाज द फर्स्ट इम्प्लीमेंटेशन ऑफ ब्लॉकचेन? ब्लॉकचेन की जो पहली इम्प्लीमेंटेशन थी वो कौन कौन सी थी?
बिटकॉइन सर, मेरा आंसर है बिटकॉइन।
जी बिल्कुल, बिटकॉइन था फर्स्ट इम्प्लीमेंटेशन ब्लॉकचेन की। शुक्रिया। इसके बाद मेरा क्वेश्चन है कि हमारे पास कितनी क्रिप्टो करेंसीज हैं इस वक्त मार्केट के अंदर? हाउ मेनी क्रिप्टो करेंसीज आर देयर इन द मार्केट? जी क्या आपने क्या बताया?
17,000।
17,000.
17,000 जी, ठीक है। 17,000 से अभी दिन ब दिन नई नई आती रहती हैं, तो आपका जवाब ठीक है। अच्छा, इसके बाद मेरा क्वेश्चन है कि हम अपनी अगर क्रिप्टो करेंसी बनाना चाहें तो वो कैसे बना सकते हैं, यानी क्या स्टेप हमें फॉलो करने पड़ेंगे, कोई भी नई क्रिप्टो करेंसी लॉन्च करना चाहता है तो? ये ऑनलाइन भी कुछ सवालात आ रहे हैं, कोई जो लॉगिन हुए हैं इनसे भी पूछ सकते हैं।
अच्छा, तो अगर हमें अपनी ओन क्रिप्टो करेंसी बनानी हो तो उसके लिए जो एग्जिस्टिंग हमारे पास ओपन सोर्स जो प्रोजेक्ट्स होते हैं तो उसको हम यूज कर सकते हैं, उसमें अपनी मॉडिफिकेशंस कर सकते हैं और उसको उसके अंदर डिफरेंट चीजें भी ऐड कर सकते हैं। फॉर एग्जांपल के वो लेयर 1 का होगा या लेयर 2 का होगा, उसमें स्मार्ट कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स होंगे नहीं होंगे, तो इस तरीके से आप उसके ऊपर काम कर सकते हैं।
जी, ये थोड़ा सा क्लैरिफाई कीजिएगा कि अपना वॉलेट हमने चेंज करना है या क्या करना होगा?
सर वॉलेट तो उसमें फिर ये है ना कि जो क्रिप्टो करेंसी है तो उसके अंदर फिर वो टोकनाइजेशन की बात भी होती है, फिर वो ऑन चेन है कैसे है, तो उसमें फिर डिफरेंट एस्पेक्ट्स है जो हम इंटीग्रेट कर सकते हैं। एग्जिस्टिंग जो वॉलेट्स हैं उनके साथ भी लाइक बैकग्राउंड रिपोर्टिंग करके तो कनेक्शन एस्टैब्लिश किया जा सकता है। इट डिपेंड्स कि हम किस किस्म की करेंसी को जो है वो क्रिएट करना चाह रहे हैं।
ठीक है। अच्छा, एक ये उबैद अजमल हैं, इन्होंने चैट पे जवाब दिया है इसी सवाल का, उबैद अजमल ने। तो उनका जवाब सही है। तो हम गिटहब से डाउनलोड करेंगे क्रिप्टो करेंसी के कोड को, बिटकॉइन को, और फिर उसमें चेंजेस कर लेंगे। और आपका जवाब भी दुरुस्त है। तो ये 2 बंदे टोटल हो गए जिन्होंने सही जवाब दिया है। तो टोटल 6 सवालात के जवाब कंप्लीट हो गए। डॉक्टर सफदर साहब।
Thank you very much, Dr. Mubashir Husain Rehmani, for your wonderful, insightful, and extremely valuable presentation. And the talk was really rich, and we personally I learned a lot, and I hope that we can build upon it, and then we can also have a next webinar in which we can then move to some advanced level of knowledge in our next webinar, inshallah. So a big round of applause for Dr. Mubashir Husain Rehmani.
थैंक यू सो मच। आपका भी बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया आप तमाम लोगों का कि आपने इस वेबिनार को अटेंड किया, और इंशाल्लाह राब्ते में रहेंगे। जज़ाकल्लाहु खैर। अस्सलामु अलैकुम वरहमतुल्लाहि वबरकातुहू।
वालेकुम सलाम। अच्छा, सर जो ऑडियंस मौजूद है यहाँ पे वो बैठे रहे थोड़ी देर के लिए।
वेटिंग